Hello. Today I'm going to read a newspaper about reviewing 2021 years, and this is the very first paper that I read for this. The title is Reasons for Optimism After Difficult Years. So if I stuck here, I will open the Google Translate and I will paste it here, and I will have the meaning of this word here. And optimism is the meanings in Vietnamese here. So 2021 was an incredibly hard year for many people, including me, but I'm hopeful that 2022 will be better. And you all know him, right? Bill Gates. When Paul and I were starting Microsoft, we had a vision that personal computers would one day play a significant role in people's lives. But I don't think either of us even foresaw a future where they would be your only connection to the world. Like many people, there were entire days this year when the only human interaction I had was through a screen. The result have been the most unusual and difficult years of my life. I suspect a lot of the people reading this might say the same. 2020 has a brief period of relative normalcy before COVID-19 upended everything. In 2021, the pandemic had dominated our lives since day one. We've had to adapt to a new normal, although what that looked like is different for every person. For me, the result had been a year spent mostly online. I had stretches of time without any face-to-face social interaction. So stretcher, I don't know what does it mean. So I will copy it and paste it here. And it means that stretch out, okay? A stretch of time. It means make the time is longer without any face-to-face social interaction. If I had a break between meetings, I walk around my yard just to see something different. After work, I play bridge with friends online or hanging out with them over video chat. Once I got vaccinated, I started having some small in-person get-touch together. But my social life is still a lot more digital than it used to be. It's been a strange and disorienting experience. My personal world has never felt smaller than it did over the last 12 months. So what about disorienting? I'll pay this again here. It means that orienting, it means that you have the direction, but disorienting is mean you lost your orientation. At the same time, the years were a reminder that our world is more connected than ever. 2021 was full of monumental events with global repercussion. Okay, I'll repeat the whole phrase here. Monumental event with global repercussion. Repercussion is an unintended consequence occurring sometime after an event or action, especially an unwelcome one. Monumental event. Is monumental is something big, right? Something big, something great in important extent or size. I mean big, right? Tremendous, huge, immense, great, massive. Okay. Monumental events, I mean a big, very big event with global repercussion. Repercussion, what does it mean? Repercussion is mean the result, the effect, the outcome. So Monumental events with global repercussion. It means a very big events, a very huge event with global results, not very good result, including extremer weather events. The going on effects of the pandemic and America withdrawal from Afghanistan. Withdrawal, I don't know this word. No, like paste it here. Withdrawal, it means that back of something, rejection, a retrieval, removal, taking away, stopping, cancellation, discontinuation. Okay, that it meant an America cancellation from Afghanistan. It means that America may come back if they stop war on stop joining the war from Afghanistan. Every time you look at the news, you will remind of just how significantly something happening on the outside of the war could affect you at home. Just look at how one container ship stuck in the Suez Canal for a week because shipping delay around the world. It's never been clear that tackling big problem require people working together across border and sectors. Yes, so many big events and momentum events all around the world, and it will affect the other part of the world. Collaboration has been a constant theme with my work this year. The foundation continued to take up the bulk of my time, and I'm blown away by the amazing process made by our team and our partner in 2021. Most weeks, we have a virtual get-together with everyone who working on our COVID response. Each meeting focuses on a different topic like disease modeling or vaccine distribution. It's inspiring to hear how groups are working together to find solutions. Although COVID-19 has been a huge focus, the foundation continues to make progress in other areas. Our US program is working with partners to help students and teachers navigate the strenuous pandemic era education. And my colleagues working on gender equality are fighting for a more equitable global recovery. Sorry, parent. Okay. The global health and development teams have found creative ways to protect advancements on diseases like polio, tuberculosis, and HIV, and continue progress in reducing child mortality. This year's goalkeeper reports outlines how the pandemic hasn't set us back as badly as feared. One of the most exciting things that happened was WHO approval of the first malaria vaccine. Malaria kills nearly 615,000 people every year, more than half of them children under 5, and remains one of the leading causes of death in low-income countries. We funded late-stage clinical development of the vaccine between 2001 and 2015. And continue to support research into how to optimize its effectiveness. This new vaccine is giving us insights into how to develop second-generation vaccines and preventative tools that can be used on all ages, are even more effective. It can help us reach the goal of eradication. The goal of eradication, it means that eliminated, I think. Yeah, eliminated. One of the most exciting things that happened was WHO approval of the first malaria vaccine. That this new, I think that most people didn't aware of this because of COVID-19. But besides COVID-19, that we have so many dangerous issues that we may forgot. Thank God that some people didn't forget it. This year also saw the start of a new chapter in my climate work. I released my book, How to Avoid Climate Disaster, and launched the Breakthrough Energy Catalyst and Fellows program to support financing, production, and buying new clean energy technologies. The reason I feel confident enough to expand our effort to significantly was the incredible process I've seen from Breakthrough Energy Ventures, where we are now supporting over 70 amazing companies. I've been working on climate and energy issue for a long time, but the area has become a bigger part of my focus over the last 12 months. I also found time to work on some non-foundation and non-climate related areas like Alzheimer's research and expanding free educational resources for teachers. Even though I think the things I've been working on are by far the most interesting part of my year, I know lots of people are curious about a subject closer to home, my divorce. Melinda and I continued to run our foundation together and have found a good new working reason with him. But I can't deny that it's been a year of great personal success for me. Adapting to change is never easy, no matter what it is. I've been impressed by how resilient my loved ones, especially my kids, have been in this challenging time. My family also experienced a lot of changes in what you probably saw in the news. My oldest daughter, Jen, got married this fall. At a wedding was the highlight of my year. Our youngest, Phoebe, graduated from high school and went off to college. So my son, Rolly, is also away of school. That means officially an empty nester. The house is large, a bunch of teenagers hanging out around the time. I miss having them at home. Even if it is easier to focus on reading a book or getting work done these days, 2021 has been a year of big transition for me. But it hasn't changed why I love the work I do. As it's come up close, I wanted to sit down and write about 4 things that are top of my heading into 2022. The latest process toward ending the COVID-19 pandemic. Why decrease trust in institution might be the biggest obstacle standing in our way, while the climate conversation can teach us about how we can progress and how the rapid decision brought on by the pandemic will shape our future. And firstly, I am hopeful the end of the COVID-19 pandemic is finally in sight. In my previous end of year post, I wrote that I thought I'd be able to look back and say that 2021 was an improvement of 2020. Why do things true in some ways? Billions of people have been vaccinated against COVID-19, and the world is somewhat closer to normal. The improvement has been as dramatic as I hoped. More people died from COVID-19 in 2021 than in 2020. If you are one of the millions of people who lost a loved one to the virus over the last 12 months, you certainly don't think the year was any better than last. Because of the Delta variant and challenges with vaccine uptake, we're not as close to the end of the pandemic as I hope by now. I didn't foresee that such a highly transmissible variant could come along and underestimate how tough it would be to convince people to take the vaccine and continue to use masks. I'm hoping thought that the end of this finally in sight. It might be foolish to make another prediction, but I think the acute phase of the pandemic will come to close sometime in 2022. There's no question that the Omicron variant is concerning researchers, including a network called GISER, I don't know, that is supposed by our foundation are working urgently to learn more about it. And we have lots of more information, like how well vaccines or previous infection protect you against it soon. But here, what we do know, the world is better prepared to tackle potentially bad variants than at any other point in the pandemic so far. We caught the variant earlier than we discovered Delta because South Africa has invested heavily in genomic sequencing capability, and we are in much better position to create updated vaccine if we are needed. It's troubling anytime a new variant of concern emerges, but I'm still hopeful that at some point next year, COVID-19 will become an endemic disease in most places. Although it is currently about 10 times more lethal than flu, vaccines and antivirals could cut that number by half or more. Community will still see occasional outbreaks, but new drugs will be available that could take care of most cases, and hospital will be able to handle the rest. Your individual risk level will level low enough that you wouldn't need to factor it into your decision making as much. It will be primary when deciding whether to work from the office or let your kid go to the social soccer game or watch a movie in a theater. In a couple of years, my hope is that the only time you will really have to think about the virus is when you get your COVID and flu vaccine every fall. Now that we're starting to move toward the end of this pandemic, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about what went right and what went wrong over the last 2 years. We can learn important lessons from the world's COVID-19 response that will make us better prepared next time. Even though the pandemic has dragged on longer than anticipated, a lot has gone well. To start, the progress we made on vaccine is remarkable. The world has never made undisputed a vaccine for disease faster than it did for COVID-19. The fact that we had one less alarm vaccine during the first year of the pandemic is miraculous. Miraculous. Miracle is mean that something is magical. So miraculous is the adjective miracle. The success attribute to how many candidates the world has in the pipeline. Vaccine development or release on a little bit of luck, and we had our bet by trying too many different approaches. I think mRNA vaccine will ultimately be seen as the most consequential breakthrough of the pandemic, proving that mRNA works as a vaccine platform has been massive game changers, not just for this pandemic, but for the next one too. Now that mRNA is well established, we are able to develop safe and effective vaccines super fast in the future. We also learned a lot about non-pharmaceutical intervention or NPIs that will inform disease response moving forward. Okay, I think that because the newspaper is so long, so I will stop it here and we'll come to the next video. And thank you for listening, and please let the comment below or give any comment, any idea that we can do next time.